What up, guys? GangstaPranksta here, bringing you the weekly wrestling review for March 2nd. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, this is where we talk everything about professional wrestling, from news, reviews to predictions. We talk about it all. So if you're a fan of professional wrestling, welcome to the show. On today's show, we got reviews for Raw, Smackdown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor, predictions for the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, the 11th anniversary, and a little bit of wrestling news. So let's jump right into it. We start out with Raw. Sorry about that, I'm just adjusting my mic. So Raw this last week, this week, was really good. I enjoyed it. You had two things that really stood out about the show and made it a great show. So let's talk about it real quick. It starts out with Vince McMahon comes out, calls out Paul Heyman. Heyman comes out, says he waited for a long time to do this, and then tackles Vince, hits him with a crutch. Vince comes out, nails Heyman with a crutch. Lesnar comes out, tries to attack Vince, but Triple H comes out, brawls with Lesnar. Lesnar busts the back of his head open on a ring post. It was a nasty brawl, and it was also a really great way to start the show. This is kind of the sort of thing that the show would end with, but they started with it, which I thought was really good. It really set the pace of the show. And the blood, I gotta talk about this. The blood. Now, I know they didn't do it on purpose, but it really added to this whole feud and how they really don't like each other. And then you have, Lesnar, that back of his head was busted open, bleeding everywhere. It really added to this feud and how, they don't do blood anymore, and how blood just really adds to the whole building of a good-ass storyline. So I wish they would do more blood. But, yeah, other than that, fun fact, Triple H pissed his pants during the brawl, immediately when he jumps on Brock Lesnar, he, pissed himself. You can see a big fucking wet stain, and that was pretty funny, because it's supposed to be taken seriously, and then he, wets himself, so that was pretty funny. Next we got Ryback versus Dolph Ziggler, pretty good match, Ryback wins. Next we got CM Punk comes out. He talks about he's got a huge match ahead of him, how he's gonna beat Cena, and he talks about how he's God, and he's amazing and immortal and blah 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 blah. The promo was weird because it didn't sound like he was talking about his match really. It sounded like he was talking about The Undertaker, to be honest. And, it is long rumored that they're going to have a match at WrestleMania. And, yeah, this just promo, it just really sounded like he was talking about The Undertaker. So, just, he's God, he's immortal and shit like that. So, hey, they might have a feud, we'll see. I don't know yet. I haven't watched Raw this week. WWE has announced another inductee to their Hall of Fame. Now it's going to be Donald Trump. I actually like this one. This is a good person to induct because if you really think about it, he's always kind of been a wrestling fan, and he's been at countless WrestleManias. They even talk about it in the little package he put together, how he always brought WrestleMania to Trump Plaza. He had that big angle at WrestleMania 23 with him and Vince and Bobby Lashley and Umaga. So he's always been a fan of wrestling, which is good. And he's not just some outsider. So it's really cool to see Donald Trump in the Hall of Fame. Next we got Mark Henry versus Great Khali. Blah match. Henry wins. Miz comes out for Miz TV. His guests were Jack Swagger, Zeb Coulter, Del Rio, and Ricardo Rodriguez. Coulter and Del Rio go back and forth about America and Mexico and immigrants and all that kind of stuff. And it ends with Swagger leaving. And then during the commercial break, he attacked Miz, and that led to a match later on. Next, we got Randy Orton and Antonio Cesaro. Pretty good match. Orton wins. Next, we got Sheamus comes out in a tuxedo. He talks about the Oscars and how they forgot about Wade Barrett. He basically mocks Barrett about how, he's in a movie, but he doesn't even have, a fucking role. He's thug number 2. He's background character at best. And, Barrett comes out and says Sheamus is jealous of him. Barrett tries to attack Sheamus, but he bails. So I guess they're not going forward with the whole Bo Dallas feud anymore. Just it seems like they really don't know what to do with Barrett. Like, oh, what about this Bo Dallas? You know, they might have, to build towards the feud, they might have Bo Dallas and Wade Barrett for the IC title. Sheamus comes in and distracts Barrett, allowing Bo Dallas to win the title. So he becomes IC champion, and then Barrett and Sheamus, they can feud. Because if they feud now, it's kind of like they have to put the IC title on the line, and then Sheamus will probably win, I think. We'll leave those predictions for WrestleMania. That's just what my guts tell me, so yeah. Next we got R-Truth versus Cody Rhodes. Okay match. Truth wins. After the match, Stando tries to attack Truth, but is unsuccessful. Next we got Hell No versus the Primetime Players. Okay match. Hell No wins. You had Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, who was blindfolded during the match, and Kane had one arm tied behind his back. And it was an okay match. Hell No wins. Next we got The Shield comes out, brags about taking out a bunch of people. Sheamus comes out and challenges them to a fight. Ambrose and Reigns go to fight Sheamus, but Orton sneaks behind Rollins and RKO's him. So this is like I just said about Wade Barrett and how they don't know what they want to do with Wade Barrett. Sheamus is kind of in that same boat. Are you gonna feud him with the Shield? Are you gonna feud him with Wade Barrett? Like, what do you want to do with Sheamus? And to be honest, I think take Sheamus out of it. Ryback should be in Sheamus's position with the Shield. Let go Sheamus. Let Sheamus go face Wade Barrett for the IC title at WrestleMania, and then have Ryback feud with the Shield, because technically they've cost him so many opportunities that he's never really got his just due. So it's like, when is he finally going to do that? Maybe they moved past on that, so I don't know. Next we got Jack Swagger versus The Miz. Pretty good match. Swagger wins. And to end out the show, CM Punk versus John Cena. Winner goes to face The Rock at WrestleMania. All I have to say is a great match. Amazing match by these two. Cena wins. These two always have great matches together. Look at Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, tonight. They've had matches, countless matches, and they're just always really, really fucking good. And tonight was just, the Raw main event was just really fucking good as well. And, you know, they did some crazy shit. Punk hit a pile driver, which was like, holy shit, you know, when's the last time you saw a pile driver? And he hit him with it. And that was really crazy to see. And it was just a really good match. Definitely a top contender for match of the year already. And, we just started the year off. But a really good match between these two. Very enjoyable. Check it out. Check out the opening segment and the end segment. The Punk's Cena match and the opening thing with Vince, Paul Heyman, Triple H, and Lesnar. Those were two great things. Definitely highlights of the show. Everything else was average, to be honest. So those are two things. Definitely go check them out. Next we got NXT. It starts out Justin Gabriel versus Leo Kruger. Good match. Gabriel wins. Slow start to this match, but it picked up eventually, and Gabriel won. Next we got Emma versus Oksana. This is a bad match. Like, Emma is just fucking terrible. Her gimmick, like, you're already coming in and people don't think much of you as a wrestler, and then you're like, your whole gimmick is that you're bubbly and you're dumb and you're slipping on the apron and you don't know what you're doing. It just makes it seem even worse. And Oksana, she's not that good of a women's wrestler, so overall this was just a bad match. Fucking awful. So I don't watch that. And the main event, Conor O'Brien versus Corey Graves, originally supposed to be a three-way with Bo Dallas, but Bo Dallas was taken out. So pretty good match between Graves and O'Brien. No one won after the Shield comes out and attacks both men. So I'm guessing the Shield attacked Bo Dallas. And after the match, the Shield, just says some stuff. So next you got Impact. Starts out with Bully Ray comes out and talks about what Aces and Eights did to Hogan. He brings out Jeff Hardy. Bully says he didn't do anything to deserve the world title match, and they're gonna have a great match because they have a huge history together. Daniels and Kazarian come out and talk shit about Bully Ray. Leads to a little brawl and a tag team match later. Next, you got Tara versus Velvet Sky. Knockouts title match. Okay match. Velvet wins. What I really didn't like about this is that Tara is a former champion, and this was a 2-minute match. So Tara was, I don't know how long she was Knockouts champion, but she was Knockouts champion for a long-ass time. So you have her losing the 4-way first, so she's out, and then you have her rematch, and she loses in under 2 minutes. Like, what the fuck, TNA? That's stupid as shit. So it's gonna be Gail versus Velvet at Lockdown, which should be good, but it's like they're just fucking buried Tara already, you know, former Knockouts champion, and just fucking treats her like shit. So I didn't like that too much. Next we got Hernandez versus Austin Aries. Pretty good match. Aries wins. Next we got Kenny King versus RVD X Division title match. Pretty good match. Kenny wins and is the new X Division champion. Fucked up ending after RVD missed a 450, and I think he like knocked himself out, and then he like they fucked up the count, and then RVD was like fucked up Kenny King's finisher, so it was just not a good ending to the match. But Kenny should have won a long fucking time ago. RVD should have never been X Division champion. It's just fucking retarded. And then they're gonna have a match at Lockdown, and RVD is not even involved. It's gonna be Zema Ion, Christian York, and Kenny King. Like, what the fuck? So dumb as shit. Next you got Aces and Eights come out and say at Lockdown Sting's team's gonna go down. Sting comes out and announces his team. It's gonna be Samoa Joe, James Storm, Magnus, and the returning Eric Young. They all brawl, and Team TNA gets the better of it. Later on, we have Kurt Angle. You know, Aces and Eights upset that they lost the brawl, go back to their clubhouse. Kurt Angle actually followed them to their clubhouse. We'll talk about that after the main event. So, next you got Ivelisse Felez and Lady Tapa in a gut check match. Pretty good match. Ivelisse wins. This was a good gut check match. They definitely need female wrestlers because their Knockouts division is pretty shitty. But what else is even shittier is their tag team division. TNA, bring on a fucking tag team for your stupid gut check, because your tag team division is fucking awful. It's 3 teams, barely, and it's fucking stupid. Like, bring in some more teams. Like, what the hell? But anyways, these two had a pretty good match. I like the whole, you know, Ivelisse, she was like the smaller lady, and you know, Lady Tapa, she was a pretty big girl. So, you know, they had the whole like little dog, big dog kind of thing. So that was cool. And Ivelisse won. They made a huge mention of like her whole MMA background, and it's just like, shut the fuck up. I'm watching wrestling. I don't give a shit about MMA. So that was kind of annoying. But other than that, it was a pretty good match. Next, TNA films a segment with AJ Styles' wife and friend, and they talk about how he's changed. And then AJ comes in during the interview, and then he just drives away in his motorcycle. So I don't know what they're doing with that whole angle, but yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't like it. So. Next, Robbie E comes out, calls out Rob Terry. Robbie E says that their relationship is rocky, so they should do a bro-off to reconcile. While Robbie is dancing, Rob Terry is dancing. Robbie hits him with a big picture and runs away. Next, you got Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy taking on Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. Good match. Bully and Hardy win. And of course, like I was saying earlier, Kurt Angle following to the clubhouse. He beats up a bunch of people, and then he finds the VP, beats him up, and pulls off his mask, and is shocked to see who it is, and then he gets jumped. So, I don't know who it is. It could be Hogan. I originally thought it might be Bully Ray, but Bully was in the Impact Zone when they did that, so it wouldn't make sense. But, I don't know, I'm interested. Apparently, he's going to reveal it next week, so we'll see if he actually says it or if he makes it there. Ace and Eights might jump him. We'll see. So next we got SmackDown. Starts out Del Rio versus Damien Sandow. Good match. Del Rio wins. Next, you got Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the U.S. title. Pretty good match. Cesaro wins. This is nothing special. Next, you got Jim Ross comes out to interview Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger. They come out, talk about immigrants and all the usual stuff. Jim Ross says Swagger's changed. Colt is brainwashing him. Swagger starts to, buff up his chest to JR until Del Rio comes out. And he comes out and says just Swagger is a jackass. So, yeah. Next, you got Primetime Players versus Team Hell No. Rematch of their match on Raw. But this time, Kane was blindfolded. And, yeah, Kane was blindfolded and Daniel had his arm tied around his back. So, it's actually pretty good. Primetime Players win. Nothing much to say. Next, you got Max Striker interviews Fandango. Let me try and get this right. Fandango. Something like that. Anyways, Fandango teaches Striker how to pronounce his name. And Fandango says he's not going to debut until Striker can pronounce his name. So, yeah. Sucks for us. We're not going to see Fandango wrestle. Oh, God, no. Anyways. Main event, Randy Orton versus Big Show. Pretty good match. No one wins after the Shield comes out and Sheamus comes out to help Orton. A brawl breaks out and Big Show knocks out Roman Reigns. So is Big Show turning face? I don't know. Probably. Because there's really nothing for him to do at WrestleMania. So might as well turn face and beat up the Shield. Next we got Ring of Honor. It starts out with Kevin Steen comes out. Says he tried to kill Ring of Honor because of Jim Cornette, and that he loves Ring of Honor. Steen also says Lethal will be getting a title shot because he took out Cornette, but Lethal won't be able to beat him. Next, you got Matt Taven versus Tadarius Thomas, finals of the Open Prospect Tournament thing. Pretty good match. Taven wins. After the match, Taven aligns himself with Truth Martini. Next, you got Jay Lethal comes out and says when Steen came out earlier, he was full of shit, and he will beat Steen and go down in history as a great champion. And the main event, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly versus Michael Elgin and the American Wolves in a 6-man. Good match. Roderick, Fish, and O'Reilly win. This was like a really good main event. It went like almost 20 minutes, something like that. So, great match. If you want to know how to watch Ring of Honor, what you want to do is you want to go to ROHWrestling.com, sign up for a free account. You can watch shows every Thursday. Definitely a solid hour of wrestling. I recommend it. And if you want to watch more Ring of Honor, they'll be having a pay-per-view this weekend, Ring of Honor 11th Anniversary Show. It's a pretty good pay-per-view. We'll go through real quick. Starts out with Adam Page, Mike Sydal, QT Marshall, ACH, Silas Young, and Tadarius Thomas in a 6-man mayhem match. This is just going to be a fun opener. Probably lots of crazy action. And I'm going to go with ACH. Actually, I'm probably going to go with Tadarius Thomas. I was really impressed with ACH when he had his match on Ring of Honor a couple weeks ago. And apparently they signed him, which is cool. So they definitely see something in him. And he might even pull out the victory. Next, we got Scum versus Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander. This should be a good tag team match. I'm gonna go with Coleman and Alexander on this one. Next, we got Charlie Haas versus BJ Whitmer, no holds barred match. Hopefully BJ doesn't land on his head through a table this pay-per-view. That was scary as shit in the last pay-per-view. And I'm gonna go with BJ Whitmer to pull out the victory here. Charlie Haas, he's just not doing anything for me, so I'm going to go with BJ Whitmer. Next, you got Michael Elgin versus Roderick Strong, 2 out of 3 falls match. Personally, I think Michael Elgin is finally going to get his revenge on Roderick, end the feud, and maybe even, go after Steen and have another world title match. Maybe even face Lethal. We'll see when I get there. So I'm going to go with Michael Elgin. Probably 2 falls for Elgin, 1 for Roderick Strong. Next, we got a special attraction match. American Wolves taking on Alex Kozlov and Rocky Romero. Alex Kozlov and Rocky Romero, they make what's the word I'm looking for? They make appearances in Ring of Honor once in a while, basically. And they'll be taking on the American Wolves. American Wolves are a solid tag team, so I expect this to be a good tag team match, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go with the American Wolves. Next, we got Adam Cole versus Matt Taven for the ROH TV title. Now, I like Adam Cole a lot, but I think Matt Taven could probably pull out the victory. He's got Truth Martini in his corner. You probably got Matt Hardy coming in, maybe distract Cole and stuff. So, I don't know. I'm probably going to go with Adam Cole and then rematch with Cole and Hardy. But we'll see. I think it can go either way, to be honest. Next, you got the Briscoe brothers versus Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly for the ROH Tag Team titles. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, new tag team, so I don't think they'll pick up the victory this show. So I'm going to go with the Briscoe brothers. Just because I think they might rematch in the future, but I don't think they're going to win here. So I'm going to go with the Briscoes. And the main event, Kevin Steen versus Jay Lethal, World's title match. I really like Jay Lethal here. They've been pushing him a lot. I'm going to have to go with him on this one. I think Jay Lethal's going to win, be your new Ring of Honor champion. You're probably going to have Jim Cornette come out on the shows, on the weekly TV shows, and just kind of build towards more storyline between him, Steen, and Lethal. So that should be good. And, yeah, I think there's going to be a new Ring of Honor World Champion, Jay Lethal. So I think El Generico would have won if he wasn't going to WWE, but since he left to WWE, I think Lethal's going to win. So that's Ring of Honor 11th Anniversary show. If you want to watch it, you got to go to ROHWrestling.com, and you can actually order and watch the pay-per-view through their website. So I'll be bringing my review next week, so we'll see if it's good or not, and if I think you should check it out. And last but not least, a little bit of wrestling news, just one thing. WWE will be hosting another Diva Search. That was the only thing newsworthy this week. So, you know, that's kind of big news, because, you know, their division is fucking garbage right now, because they lost all their best divas. So, they might find a gem here and there, because they found people in the Diva Search that have been good. Christy Hemme, Michelle McCool, Eve, Layla, who else? They found a bunch of people off the Diva Search, so maybe they can do it again. So that's a good thing for WWE. But if they're all models, then it's gonna be pretty terrible. But you're gonna have one girl that's definitely gonna stand out and be good. So hopefully that's a good thing. So that's it for the weekly wrestling review. Come back next week where I got reviews for Raw, Smackdown, Impact, NXT. Raw, SmackDown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor reviews for the Ring of Honor 11th Anniversary show, and predictions for TNA Lockdown next Sunday. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Come back next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.